Hey guys, so I am back with my Gate 3 Kayangel commentary. And if you didn't tune into my previous videos, this is basically a series where I go through the 3 gates of Kayangel and commentate on my striker gameplay. It's really meant to be a resource for strikers or anybody trying to learn the gates of Kayangel and trying to think about like my thought process through it. But really, mostly for striker players who are looking for some tips and tricks and kind of see the thought process of somebody who's been playing striker for basically since Vicus came out. So yeah, hopefully you guys will comment down below if you enjoy this type of video and let me know if you do so I can upload more in the future. And if you don't, let me know that as well so I can not upload more of these in the future. As always, remember, hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications, and I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/misosoup every night at 10 p.m. PST start time. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. All right, so let's start this video. Now, Gate 3 is an interesting one. This boss surprisingly moves a lot. So one thing I want to call into kind of attention is this first part, right? So when you go into Gate 3, Kayangel always does this move where it charges forward and shoots out that little light ray, right? To do either the circle pattern or the lines pattern. This is a really annoying pattern for strikers because all throughout this part, right, when he's moving, he himself is a giant hitbox. So you can't hit him during that. You have to avoid him and then start hitting from the back. And then by the time you get your hits off, you have to basically be out of the way of this attack. So it's really annoying, and then he does this quick little kind of move right afterwards, right? So if you want to be greedy, you can attack through that, and then if you want to be safe and save your moves, just hold your attacks because he's likely going to be doing moving quickly anyway, so it's going to be very hard for you to kind of charge your attacks. But the nice thing is when he does it like that, it's a very predictable motion, so you can stand back if you have the opportunity to hit him with a lightning tiger strike and a charge move like that. So here we're just gonna dodge, and we're probably gonna skip forward a little bit. So after the mechanic, if your person who's leading Kayangel is good, then they will have popped an orb. So this is a big damage window, and you're going to be hitting him here and just hitting him with your full combo. Unfortunately, a lot of times it is the support doing it, and the support who's doing it will not pop like attack buff or brand, so you are going to be missing out on some of the damage, but it is a big window for you to go in and hit those attacks. So don't, just hit your attacks. Don't worry about the missing damage. Here, if your person the person who is being targeted is kind of like controlled, then you could use it as a DPS window because the boss won't really be moving much. But if your person is like me and just moves around a lot, then the back kind of is hard to target. So you should just kind of like be a little bit patient there and not greed too much because you could also die, right? So for me, I greeted that, but there are certain times when I don't want to greed it. So here's the pattern we're going to go through. Gate 3 Kayangel is a lot of like phasing. So it's really annoying for a lot of classes who are kind of like constant DPS, but luckily for Striker, that is not the case. So we can kind of get our burst out and do our damage. Again, when he does that little line pattern, it's very predictable, so you can kind of throw out your attacks. Again, I mentioned in this last video, but like Call of the Wind God, the last hit does the most damage. So if you need to let go of it early, you should do so because the last hit is the most damaging hit, right? So let go of it early if you think the boss is going to be moving or turning. That way you can get the highest damaging hit out. So he teleported and avoided my attack, unfortunate. But here he is pretty stationary, which is nice. My next skill in my rotation was the Call of the Wind God, and I couldn't get into that little line pattern, so I just held from attacking there. So here is the pattern, and one thing to note here is that, and we didn't do this unfortunately, if you look on the map, there is that little golden kind of little ball that you get for your damage buff. If you can, whoever's going to the area that has that little buff down there, you should grab it before you, I guess, get into the shade because it gets broken by the sun. And as you can see with my buff timer, I only have 3 seconds left on this. For the most part, when you get into this phase, a lot of times you're running very low on that buff. So if you're in that position to hit it, you should hit it. Now, as a striker and any back attacker, this mirror pattern is very annoying. And as you can see, I don't have the buff, so I'm doing no damage. But this mirror pattern is very annoying because, well, one, you're a back attacker, so you need me in the back. And as any DPS, right, you're going to be doing reduced damage to that mirror. So, like, when the mirror is facing to you. So you're basically not doing any damage at that point. As a striker, just don't even bother. If you're getting the mirror face towards you, you can't really hit the boss anyways. But also, if you do hit the boss, then you will have a chance of proccing your Umar or your Lasness, right? So let's say you're like, oh, I have my Awakening. I can hit it from here. Don't even bother, because you're going to do reduced damage, and you might risk proccing your Lasness set. Now, one other thing to note is a lot of times I use my Tiger Emerges to a little bit further away from the boss, and that's because Tiger Emerges, the majority of the damage is when towards the end of the move. So when you, with my specific tripod, is the one that where I do the little Shoryuken and fly up in the air. With you're using the other tripod, I think the one with called Ascension, I think it's called. It's still the part where you're just kind of still flying up in the air. You're not jumping as high, but you're still kind of doing the same motion. So a lot of times you can use it as a mobility skill to move towards the boss to make sure you have uptime. Because sometimes you might not have your dash, and just getting your damage in that window is better than not getting it at all, right? Something to note here. This is really annoying in Gate 3. As a striker, you need to have a bubble for this part, because it will be very hard for you to do the stagger without it. And the annoying part is when you hit the little statues, you actually don't get any meter. So take a look here, right? I hit it and I don't get any meter. I used my Sky Shattering Blow. It gave me 0 meter, right? So you need to have a meter, a bubble, before this starts to be able to do it. Now, how you kind of guarantee this is that when he disappears, right here, you could still hit him. So if you notice that you don't have a bubble, hit him here with a meter gen move like Sky Shattering Blow, or maybe even Lightning Whisper, and then get the meter for the bubble so you won't fail that stagger check. If not, it'll be a very hard stagger check for you to do, and you don't have any bombs or anything like that, right? You can't use your items. So make sure to have at least a bubble for that part. Now that move is a little bit annoying because the sword hitbox is pretty big. So you just want to avoid that and get to the back. For this one, again, you can choose to time stop like I did, or use your space bar. Other classes have kind of moves that move them forward. So if you're really looking to dodge it without, time stop, and you're not confident enough in your space bar or whatever, you can use your Call of the Wind God, and it'll be a very easy way to avoid that pull from the mirror. Now, when you're in charge of the flame bomb for that part, make sure to throw it a little bit earlier than expected. The flame bomb lasts quite a while, so you don't need to be afraid of like, oh, I'm throwing it too early. Just throw it. I mean, you can technically throw it too early, but for the most part, it's very hard to do so. So just throw it in a little bit early, and then that'll be fine and dandy. Very good DPS window. Again, using that, when he's throwing that straight line attack, use it to your advantage. Again, I time stop here because I want to be kind of safe, better for safe than sorry. But if you're really goblinoing, you can just use a dash or use your Call of Wind God. But yeah, so that is Gate 3, and that is my commentary for this run. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. Let me know in the comment section if you did. And yeah, if you want to see more content like this in the future, let me know that as well. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications, and I also stream on Twitch every night, twitch.tv/misosoup at 10 p.m. PST start time. So hopefully I'll see y'all there. But until then, see y'all on the next video. Peace out.